Friday evening Central Time, U.S. Central Time. Let's see, we're in, what is it, Central Standard Time, because we're no longer in daylight savings. I don't know what your opinion on that is, but I think we should have daylight savings all year round. I don't like the clocks going back in the fall. So now it's like nearly the middle of winter, and I feel like it's time to go to bed at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I hate it. All right. So we're taking a look at the ladder. We are, season started over. We got dropped back to Platinum 4. Hey, at least we don't have to go through Gold. So I did, by making Mythic, I got to avoid going through Gold. That was nice. But what was it? We started saying maybe 3 seasons ago. I forget exactly how long ago it was that Platinum is the new Gold. And part of that's because of the way they handle the ladder. You get 2 steps forward, 1 step back in Bronze, Silver, and Gold, right? And then now that when you in Platinum, it's 1 for 1, I think. I could be wrong about that. It's something like that. So yeah, we're gonna drudge through Platinum, which is interesting because I felt like last season, and let's see, any season I've made it to Diamond, I feel like Diamond has been easier than Platinum. And then once I got to Mythic this last season, I didn't progress especially well, but I really enjoyed the play. We did see a lot of meta stuff, to be honest. We saw a ton of things like your typical goblins and a lot of but a lot of meta stuff. So, there was that, but for the most part, the play was pretty enjoyable in Mythic. So hopefully we get back to that. But all right, so this hand, this is not bad. We're going to throw out our Sprite Dragon, which, because we have the cool style, it's actually Dorat. Is that Perfect Pet? That's kind of cool, isn't it? I think, so we're sitting on some Shocks, which is a really cool opening hand, but let's hold on. So we're not going to kill that Speaker of the Heavens just yet. Let's get Dorat out first and use our Shocks to kill that and do double duty. So basically we'll put the counters on and kill that Speaker of Heavens. So we're going to sit on those for a minute. All right. Hey, thanks for joining, guys. Oh, there's Jeff. And who else? Oh, Buzz. Man, you guys jumped on quick, too. And when I stream first thing in the morning, I don't get a lot of comments early in the morning, and it seems like nobody comments that fast. So you guys caught me off guard. I'm over here just playing, thinking I'll have to chime in here in a few minutes, and I look up and you guys are already on it. Awesome. You guys got plans for the weekend? It's Friday night, and you're watching me, so you must not have big plans. No, let's see. We need to get some more red out, I think. And let's get rid of the Speaker again. Okay, hey, check this card out. Scroll of Avacyn. If this is the one I think it is, or there's something similar to it anyway. I have one of these that's foil, and it wasn't Jumpstart, which is where this one comes from. I forget the set it come from, but it's just a common, but it's in my binder because the foiling makes it look so cool. So I haven't seen anybody play that, and then when I saw it, I thought, oh yeah, I've got something similar to that in my deck. I'm in my binder. What did I get set back to? Yeah, so I think I got 6 packs for the reward. It was really good. Yeah, I think it was 6. But you know what? I didn't pull anything great out of those, so that was the only downside. But I got 6 packs. I got 1,500 gold coins. That was really nice. And Platinum 4, I think, is where we're sitting at now. I haven't done much. We did a I did a draft this morning, so this is my well, and I did some constructed after the draft because my drafting goes nowhere. So did a little bit of drafting, and then uh, did oh my goodness, these angels are about to take over. This is nuts. Anyway, I did a draft this morning, and then after that, did some constructed, and didn't really make it anywhere on the ladder. So we're still sitting on plat 4, but. Yeah, thanks, Buzz. We definitely want to hit the bell, do the subscribe thing if you're on YouTube, Facebook, follow, Twitch, follow. Oh yeah, follow on Twitch, guys. I did. I'm doing a giveaway when I get to 50 followers on Twitch. I posted some cards that are going to be potential giveaways. I'm going to find some more, I'm sure. But okay, see, I don't have any spells. I haven't drawn any cards. Oh, you know what? That's really what's happened this round. It just hit me. We haven't drawn enough cards to cast enough spells to really beef up our sprite dragons here. I mean, we did have those shocks early on. That was nice. But then, yeah, now I don't have any. We're done. Like obviously I can block here, but this deck doesn't have any way of like sweeping the board, which makes me think historic best of one. Maybe we need to consider something that can sweep the board. I don't know. This deck doesn't really. I don't know if this deck is going to benefit so much from that. Who all do we have on tonight? Yeah, chime in. I know from my perspective, and because sometimes like I can't tell, like it will go faster or slower. Like I'll look and it tells me I've got say like 2 viewers, and then I look up and there's 3 people in the chat. So sometimes it's not in real time for me. But anyway, so I see Jeff and Buzz right now, but you guys hopefully can keep a conversation going without me. I could make it past plat 3. Yeah, well, platinum is tough. Like I said, I think diamond, last season I thought diamond was easier than platinum. And like I said, mythic, I didn't progress as much in mythic, but the play was good. Like I enjoyed the play. Sometimes I don't even enjoy the play in some of these like gold and platinum. It's so full of stuff. I don't know. Like you do see different things, but I don't know how to describe it. Like it's such a strange grind. Did that say shooting toes? Shooting toes? Shooting toes. Ah, it's cool. Okay, this is a horrible, horrible keeper. Yeah, so now that we're set back to platinum, I gotta just test all kinds of decks out to see which one's gonna work here. Because what I have found is for sure, it doesn't matter if a deck is quote good or not. It's all about matchups and who you're facing. And so I will absolutely kind of go back and forth in different levels. So one deck may shine in one level of platinum and maybe not shine in diamond or vice versa. So we're definitely just kind of cycling through decks right now, just trying to see what's going to work and what's not going to work. Of course, you guys, if you watched any streams recently, you've definitely seen this deck. It's my latest Gruul version, and it is based almost entirely on Trample, so it's a lot of fun when you get some of the, I guess, combo type pieces out. I cannot remember the name of the creature, but it's like two colorless, 2 red, 2 green, so it costs 6 to get out, which is a little heavy, but it has some really cool synergy with trample stuff. Oh, what a great card against our opponent. Got that blue-white thing going on. We'll keep that for sure. And let's go ahead and do this, because then maybe we can cast a Shifting Ceratops with haste. If this... Yeah, oh, so that's going to get countered. Oh, well. Oh, well. We lost Rhythm of the Wild. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. But I think this is going to be... I don't know. I think we're going to see... Let's go ahead and get this out since it can't be countered. A lot of control. Control, we're going to see... we're going to see board wipes for sure. So this is nice because it's got protection from blue, but it doesn't protect it from a board wipe. But I don't know. You got 6 inches? We got, I don't know how many inches we got. Like if I had to guess, maybe a couple at the most, just looking at it. But it was so wet this morning, so much rain that our snow did not. I mean, I guess if you're a fan of like wet snow that you can make good snowballs with, it was great. But it gets all slushy and isn't like it's really beautiful coming down, and then it starts to get melty and slushy, and it's like gross and blah. All right, so all right, let's attack first. Our opponent's got to be sitting on some kind of counter or something they want to use. So let's attack and see what happens here. I enjoyed watching the snowfall early this morning, but I didn't really enjoy it after that because it was just yucky. Dogs going out and dragging wet or tracking their wet paws through the house. Hate that. 1/4 of an inch ice. See, that was a thing. I don't think we got much ice. It was just wet. It was rain, and there. I mean, it was. I'm sure it was slick. I didn't get out. I don't get out in this stuff. I don't have to. And it was slick, but it wasn't like packed in ice or anything. Not here, but it was slick. I know people definitely had issues on the roads. All right, we're going to keep going, but there's a part of me that thinks we're really in a bad matchup here. And unless our opponent just really struggles with some of their draws, this is a no-win situation just based on the matchup. I mean, we're going to see... So now Teferi is going to start untapping lands, and we're going to see counter spells just sitting in our opponent's hand all game long now. Because they're going to... Drawing a card and untapping lands with Teferi just sets this deck up so well. I mean, we might get lucky. Like I said, if our opponent struggles with their draws, we'll be in good shape. Okay, let's see if we can get Teferi off the board here. Okay, that's going to be helpful. It's going to be very helpful. Well, let's go ahead and see if we can't get something else on the board. Okay, so we know there's board wipes coming. So we don't want to put too much on the board. I would have loved for that to stick. That's my favorite card. One of my favorite cards. We'll go ahead and end it. But here's the other thing. I'd rather get a counterspell on the Great Henge than I would something like the Gargaroth. But okay. That's not too bad. Alright, let's go ahead. We still might get stuck with a counter spell. Maybe not. I mean, we're down to 2 cards in hand. Okay, so that wasn't bad timing then. We'll go here too. Yeah, so I didn't get out at all today. I really need to. I think we're gonna make ourselves get out tomorrow. That stinks. So I'll probably go to the gym. Oh, it's the first of the month, so it's a new budget. That means I got new allowance. I'm gonna go spend some allowance. I'm gonna go buy some. Well, I don't know if I'm buying cards or if I'm buying another coffee maker, because I'm ridiculous and have too many things to make coffee with. But I don't have an espresso machine, and I want some steamed milk to go in my fancy coffee when I make that. All right. I think we can go here and go haste. Okay, and I think we're going to have 2 attackers this turn. Is that right? Okay, we're going to get in some damage, I think. Okay, but it can't block, so it's like, okay, yeah, throw that down, but Alright, another Banishing Light. I'm sure there's more board wipes too. Let's just see what... But our opponent doesn't have a ton of cards in hand. So we might be at a decent spot. Let's see. Alright, one of those cards could very well be a counterspell, but let's make an attempt. Oh, that worked. Okay, unfortunately the Gargoyle still has summoning sickness because it's coming back to the battlefield. We may have outlasted this. I really didn't think we were going to. But I also might be speaking too soon. Let's see what happens. Oh, yeah, okay. Is there any way around this? Nope. No way around that. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's not to say we can't win, but that wasn't in our favor. Oh, I've got some really good chocolate that I got for Christmas that I made hot cocoa, and then I finished it off with milk, so I made my hot cocoa with water and then finish it off with milk, and it's really good. It's a really good powder mix. Okay, so we're gonna go with haste so we can get that Jace. Wait, no, I don't want to get Jace off. I want to... Oh, yeah, I want to go there. What was I thinking? I was too busy focused on how good this chocolate was. I was like, oh, there's a Planeswalker. Let's attack it. Wait, no, I don't want to do that. That felt pretty good because we were really just trying to outlast all the control and board wipes. And I don't know. Matchup wise, I would not have thought we'd have got through that. Alright, that wasn't bad. Again, so earlier today I played some of this green-white. It's kind of a ramp. I mean, I've labeled it Ghalta because Ghalta's the strong creature there. I played some of this historic enchantment. It did okay. I was surprised. So I played this on the stream the other morning, and it did really, really well. And I played it today, and it stung. I think didn't I play this? I think I played this a few minutes ago, too. I'm trying to remember what I've played and what I haven't. But it's so weird when the season starts over, trying to figure out what's going to work when. Let's try Death Touch. That's a fun one that I haven't done much of. And then I still have that High Alert, which I may go ahead and try here pretty soon. And that's the one that I breezed through Diamond with. I say breezed. I mean, I went through pretty quick. It got me to Mythic when I never thought I would make it to Mythic. That's for sure. Okay, this is not a bad hand, but it's also not good either. I don't have a single card I can play based on the land that's here and play early. I really don't want to mulligan, but I feel like I have to. Because let's say I draw a third land, I still can't play any of these first three cards. And then these two, I need a fourth land. Man, I have to mulligan. I don't like that. Okay, this is not as good a hand, but it's a keeper because I can at least get two early cards down. So let's keep, and then we'll drop one of these expensive cards. So we'll drop the Planeswalker. All right, so now we get off to a good start, a good curve. Okay, Boba 65 TT. Is that a reference to Boba Fett? I feel like that's a reference to Boba Fett. Which, if you didn't know, the book of Boba Fett will be a Disney Plus series coming out, I think, later this year. That's kind of a spin-off of The Mandalorian. Oh yeah, totally worth watching. And if you didn't know, The Mandalorian wrapped up with a really cool finale that I really want to spoil, but I'll be nice and I won't spoil it, just in case you haven't seen it. Man, I don't remember the curve being so difficult in this deck. I need a fourth land to play anything in my hand right now. Wow, I haven't seen that in a long time. Another 4-drop. Wow. Yeah, Goblin Chain Whirler dominated Standard back in its time. Not a dominant card right now, but... Oh, that's insane. Sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 4-drops and 3 land. I could really use a forest. I don't think we're going to make it. I think this is going to go fast, I think. Well, we got the forest. We got the forest. Let's see. Okay. If we go here, we can destroy a permanent. And this needs, let's see, 4 or more artifacts. I don't think they're going to drop 4 or 3 more artifacts next turn. So I think we're safe from an attack there. So let's use the -3 here. I think that means Vraska's going to survive. Okay, Terror of the Peaks, as long as it doesn't have haste, it doesn't. Okay, and actually a land's not a bad draw there. So we have to go up. We don't want to sacrifice anything yet. Okay, let's go Reach and, well, we could go Reach and Death Touch, or we could go Questing Beast, which almost forces... no, I'm going to go Reach and Death Touch for now. Be prepared to block with that, and then maybe next turn go Questing Beast so we can get... I want to be the aggressor as soon as I can, and Questing Beast will do that. Oh. Yeah, see, that hurt, because now I've got nothing to block. I think this deck has got too much going on for me to slow down now. These are first strike, so even my Death Touch blockers won't be of any good. Okay, let's try pushing Questing Beast to see if it's enough to adjust the game a little bit at least. Oh, they're going to block with both. Okay, well, we get one out of the way. Or both. No, we get one. Wait, why did it not... Now I'm confused. Oh, because they both had first strike. They both dealt damage before Questing Beast could deal any damage. That's tough. I didn't think about it when you have two first strike blockers. So it's a unique interaction because with... And these have trample? Oh, it doesn't have trample. So that's why it's even worse. Okay, if it had trample, I think it would have gotten past one of them, though. No, it still wouldn't have got past one. So Death Touch, when you have Death Touch and trample, the creature only has to deal enough damage to kill the creature that's blocking it before it tramples. So it can just deal 1 point of damage because it has Death Touch, and then deal the rest in trample damage regardless of how big the other creature is. But in that case... Okay, so that mono red dragons, especially with the Goblin Chain Whirler, is not a common enough deck, I think, to get a good idea of what this deck will do right now. I need to play it at least 1 or 2 more times, because odds are we will not see something quite like that again. I mean, we'll see mono red, but it'll probably be a completely different build. Gosh, another really odd hand. But I only need... the next land doesn't have to be a particular color to at least get something out. But if I go several turns without drawing a land, we're stuck. So let's mulligan. I hate mulligan there, but... Ooh, this isn't a whole lot better, but I do not want to go down to 5. And at least I can cast something early, and then hope for just any land. Any land will at least get something else on the battlefield. Okay, well, we didn't get it yet. which we couldn't cast anything on our second turn anyway unless we drew something for it. So let's hope we get a land this turn. And again, the good thing is it doesn't matter what land it is. Alright, George. Okay, see, there we go. And actually, that, even though it didn't matter, that was still a really good one to get. Yeah, let's go here. Because that will let us get Vraska out next. Rat Colony. See, this kind of stuff is interesting because it wins certain matchups, and this is where best of one is just weird. And so you'll see these decks, but you never see that stuff at the mythic level. Just weird. But if you don't have the right matchup, it'll run all over you. Yeah. But again, nobody's playing Rat Colony unless you're down here in platinum or gold or silver. It's just weird. I think it's because you can get away with it because there's a lot of players like myself that are not playing a lot of control magic, and so you're just trying to outrace each other. And this is not a bad deck to try to outrace with. Which means we might switch to something more control. For now, we'll go here. We got to create blockers for now. Card draw would be nice too, because then we could block and slow this down and then get some card advantage. I mean, but a board wipe changes this entire game, and that's why these are such odd decks. Because again, if you're just creature heavy, again, a lot of the decks I tend to play. Let's see, is that? Oh, it's Menace too. Then you're like, it's really just a bad matchup. You're stuck. But on the flip side, if you have any amount of control where you're playing a board wipe, this deck is toast. I mean, a board wipe sets it back way too far. Alright. So here we have flying and lifelink. But I don't know if the lifelink is going to be enough. Oh, pardon me. Sneeze. Ah. The Menace is what's hurting us right now. If it weren't for the Menace, I think we could turn the corner pretty easily against this deck, even being a creature-heavy deck on our own. But because of that, we almost have to have a board wipe to stay in this game, and I don't have any in this deck. I'm pretty sure I don't. I might have a Ritual of Soot. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's game. We could try to block, but there's nothing really we can do next turn. It's pretty much board wipe or nothing. It's kind of the same thing with some of these, like that Dragons with Goblin Chain Whirler. A board wipe probably would have changed that whole game too. So maybe I might push into more control while we're messing around in Platinum, where it's a strange meta. But again, I don't play a lot of control, so what have I got? I've got the weird Planeswalker deck. We could go more aggro even with Merfolk. Merfolk actually did really good in, well, Diamond and Mythic. But I don't know what it's going to do here, because again, this is such a strange meta right here. So our elementals has a little bit of board wipe with the Chandra Planeswalker that's in it. Let's give it a shot. And maybe not even so much control as just having very accessible removal. And maybe not being overly creature heavy. Yeah, this is the Planeswalker. So this isn't a great opening hand, but it's not awful either, having 3 land and a scry land early. So we'll go ahead and keep it. I like being able to scry early and figure out what's going on. See, that's a card that can go ahead and play next turn. So it's not bad. And it's a ramp card too. War Dog. We faced War Dog last season in Mythic, I think. It's funny, I did not pay near as much attention before I started streaming to repeat matches. Let me think. There's 1, 2, 3. I could go. Yeah, I want to do that. But since I've started streaming, I've noticed quite a few rematches with opponents. You know, why not mutate this? I don't think it actually does anything when it mutates, which is odd. It's. I think it's maybe the only card that I can think of that has mutate. Excuse me, that doesn't have a trigger when it mutates. Which really makes me think, what did I put this card in here for? I can look at the top card of my library, and if it's a land, I can put it onto the battlefield. So I guess maybe the card draw advantage. Okay, so Nissa is stronger here, but Zyndakar's Royal is the long play. I think I'm going to go with the long play here. Oh. How much do we want to bet we're going to ramp to an Ugin Planeswalker? Okay, so can we get something going before that happens? I don't know. I'd love to get this Nyxbloom Ancient out as soon as possible. If we can get that out, then we will have so much resources as far as mana is concerned. Oh, and there it is. Okay. Because we're going to need something to deal with the Scarab God, and I'm not sure what it's going to be. Yeah, I don't know yet. That's going to be a tough card. Oh, did that just destroy everything? Oh, wow. Wow, that hurt. And I can't attack yet because it'll get blocked. Jesse's back. Awesome. Good to see you guys. Alright, exiling my land. I hate that. Don't take my land. I haven't seen anybody playing this Ajani, and I don't know when. I still can't really. I mean, I could attack and lose 1 and make sure I get him off the board. I don't think I want to do that right now. I think we're going to keep what we got. I think we're done, though. Like, just, again, looking at matchups and what's on the board versus what's not, I don't think we got a shot here. I've lost too many key cards. That Nyxbloom was too crucial to what I want to do. Losing all of that to a board wipe, I think it just set us too far back. And now we're losing our lands. because they can be targeted as creatures. And that was what's so frustrating is Nissa was out just long enough to turn some lands into creatures so they'll die, and now she's gone. It's like, well, that stinks. Yeah, we'll pay the 2 life. And can't attack, can't do anything. Okay, we're done. That's the tough thing about best of one is I really hate conceding that early in a game. But in best of one, you just kind of have to know that it is what it is. You see the matchup and you know it's over. Sometimes in best of 3, you can do that, but still come back in the next game and still win the match. But with best of 1, it's like, well, you just lost everything. There's no, I don't know. You know what I mean. I don't know what it is with my sinuses tonight. Been sneezing and sniffling. It just came on since I came in here. Maybe my heater. Nixon. See, that sounds familiar too. I feel like I faced Nixon last season. I think early on, I just assumed that there's so many people playing Arena throughout the different levels and ranks that there's no way I'm going to see certain other players enough to really recognize. But I think part of it is maybe historic best of 1 doesn't see as much play, and so you do start to see some of the same players, because there's historic best of 1, there's historic best of 3, there's standard best of 1 and standard best of 3, and I think standards probably still sees more play than historic, and I think and what's interesting is I think standard sees more play than historic, and I think people who play historic probably prefer to play best of 3. And so I do think the player pool at this particular meta is probably a little smaller than some of the others. Yeah, we'll go here. Okay, I have to figure out how to get rid of the Scoot Swarm before there's too much land, but fortunately I'm ahead on land drops, and I've got some cards that I think are going to put some pressure on. But if we don't remove the Scoot Swarm, then the pressure's on us, on me. Because I'm not afraid of it if I can deal with it early. If I'm stuck trying to deal with it late, I'm kind of worried. Alright, I have to remember what this one does. If I cast it for its mutate, I exile cards in the top. Can I mutate it here? Let's try it. At the very least, flying and trample is going to put the pressure on. I was so glad that was a growth spiral. When I realized a card was coming out, I thought, not a counterspell. No way. Oh, luckily it was just a growth spiral. Oh, that could have been better. Oh, an ultimatum of our own. I haven't cast an ultimatum in a while. Okay. Nice. Got in for some heavy damage finally. Okay, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one more land. Oh, and now there's 2 Scoot Swarms, and one more land makes 6, which means they're going to go... Yeah, it's going to be exponential now. So again, I wasn't worried when it was 1. I wasn't even worried with 2 as long as there weren't 6 land. Now I'm concerned. Unless I can find that Chandra Planeswalker that will destroy every one of them. But I don't have it in my hand yet, so... Yeah, let's go here. Maybe I'll get lucky. Well, Any number of permanent cards from among them onto the battlefield. Oh, well. There. Why not?
I don't know what I'm doing here, but it's gonna be fun.
Okay, what trigger are we waiting on? Oh, we're waiting on the Risen Reef trigger? I don't know. Okay, so I can use Chandra to start getting rid of some of the Scoot Swarms, but I still need a board wipe effect to really do what I want to do there. Oh, I shouldn't have paid the 2 life for that, but oh well. Well, actually, do I have anything I can cast? Actually, let's go here, and we can still play the Cloudkin Seer. Okay, well, we drew out a counterspell. Okay, so it's not going to survive. If the Chandra would survive a turn, our opponent can't block our flyer, so there's 6 damage. Chandra's got 2 damage in her minus ability, -2. Oh, now there's a flying blocker on board though. That hurts. Oh, and there's another one. Although I do have trample. Oh, the downside is my blockers this turn won't be able to do much. I mean, as far as I can't kill a creature, I have no power in my blockers, so that's kind of a bummer. Okay. I want to cycle this. Because I still just don't have the best cards. Alright, let's cast that, because that can potentially put a card in hand. Alright, we'll put that on the battlefield and scry. Okay, let's get rid of a land. I really need that Chandra Planeswalker. And I'm just not finding it. What are we down to? 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be close. I think I can block enough this turn.
Witness the ties that bind us all.
I can block enough, but I can't swing in for enough damage, can I? Oh, it countered an ability. Interesting. So this is still a companion, so if it was already in my hand, I could cast it. Let me think. If I do 2 damage... I think we're just going to block and see if we can block enough to stay alive one more turn. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. But I'm going to be able to block. So it's 1 turn, and then we either win or we lose. And that's if I calculated right. I think I can block enough to stay alive this turn. Of course, they also may target their attack at my planeswalkers. And if that's the case, it'll make it easier on the math as far as blocking enough to stay alive. And they're not doing that. So let's do this. Let's block the 2 power here. Block 1, 2, 3 of those. And now just, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it's going to be exactly enough to kill me. Is that right? So let's count attacker. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh. Wow. Exactly enough. Unless I miscounted twice. Nope. And I would have still needed things to go right on that next turn to do anything. But we can't get any traction tonight. And it, platinum gets this way. And it used to, like I said, it used to be gold would get this way. And I guess gold still does if you're in it. But it's just so funny how much more traction I could get in like later platinum and diamond. And part of it too, I think, is early in the season more people are playing, and as the season goes on people drop out and just don't play as frequently too. But all right, let's do this. Let's at least find out, because this should give us a decent gauge of what we're into. Let's take the deck that got us through diamond last season to mythic and just see what it does. Because if it starts getting trounced like every other deck I've played tonight, then I don't know, that really tells us how weird the meta is right now. I've also got my black-white clerics that I really enjoy playing that I haven't played in a while. I don't know if I played it hardly at all in mythic, and so now that I'm back down, it might make more sense to play. All right, this is a keeper. We've got an early play that we can make, and then also an early scry that we can make. I think I'm going to go with the scry first. Okay, that's not a bad keeper. Okay, so we can cast two things on this turn if we pay the life. We'll go here, and that basically counts as having a third land next turn, if it sticks. Because we can tap this and this. Oh, and there is a third land. So we don't have to do that if we don't. Interesting. Okay, so we should be able to go here and then high alert and then swing. To block or not to block? That is the question. And see, since this is mono white, I don't have to worry about counter spells. I can throw out Deputy Detention or Banishing Light, either one, and get Ajani's Pridemate off the board. So I know I can remove it, for sure. Let's go here. Now the downside is I need Arcades to allow these to attack again. But that's okay too. So now we have a threat off the board. Next turn I can cast Arcades and begin putting the pressure back on. Oh, and land, which is even better because that means I don't need to tap that Dryad to use or to cast Arcades. Oh yeah, that puts so much pressure on. Okay, I'm going to go here or here. Okay. That one made the most sense, but I thought they might try and take Pridemate back. Okay, smart. Get at least 1 point of lifelink out of that. Oh, you know what? I think just by using Banishing Light on their Prison Realm, I think that ends the game. Well, maybe not, because this didn't tap. Oh, I have enough to cast Tetsuko. Let's go here. That gets 5 damage in, so almost the game. Almost the game. This should put it away. Our opponent really got behind on dropping lands. So that helped us out a little bit. Wow. So slow moving up this Platinum 4. So slow. So we may be able to fall back on this deck just like we did last season, but I still want to keep finding new things. Let's play it again and see if it's going to be consistent. And if it is, what we may do is just test what we want to test when we want to test it, and just know we can always fall back and pick up some spots in the ladder again by using this high alert until we get where we want to get. I mean, it is still just the first day of the season. Unthinkable. 933. Cool name. Maybe not the best hand to keep since I don't have any of my early drops, but I do have pieces that I need. So, haven't seen Bomat Carrier in a long time. Of course, it was way more popular before I started playing Arena, but I do think I got to play with it just a little bit. Yes, I can pay for that. So let's pay for that because I want to go ahead and get a blocker out, and I like this one because it lets me draw a card as well. Nice. Okay, so now we have a blocker. We got to draw a card. I always like drawing cards. We'll see what we can do. I think we don't have removal. Well, that's not true. We have some removal. We don't have a ton of removal, but I think we're okay. Does Bomat Carrier have to die before those come? Okay. Gotta read it again. Okay, you exile a card when it attacks, discard your hand, sacrifice. Oh, so they pay to sacrifice it. That's how that works. I had to remember how you get those cards back. We'll go here first and high alert next turn. There's a lot of cards exiled by the carrier. Huh, it's getting a lot of help there. Trample, lifelink, flying, all added to it. Gosh, and tons of cards. Ooh. Colossus Hammer. I'd like to get rid of that. Okay, let's go here. I almost think we should have blocked, but this is okay. This is okay. This is I haven't seen this deck, and I don't know. Well, I don't know if I've ever seen this deck. I've seen Bomat Carrier once or twice. I'm so mesmerized by something new here. I'm like having a hard time keeping up with the stream. I'm just like, I want to just stop and stare. This is cool. All right. So we can block Bomat Carrier this time, or let it through. Either way, it's not a huge difference, but I can't do anything about the flyer, so I'm going to go with no blocks. Wow. Well, we couldn't block that anyway. Okay, interesting. Good night. Down to 3. And unfortunately, I don't have lifelink or anything to get that back. I don't have reach right now either. I don't have reach or flying. I think we're kind of stuck. All right, we're gonna bounce out of that game. That was cool though. We got to see some things we don't get to see very often. It's not very often I can appreciate a loss, but that was interesting. I do hate emotes still. I don't know if you got. I don't know if you caught on to that, but the our opponent towards the end of the game emoted "Oops." That just that's such a huge pet peeve of mine because I know it's kind of this. I don't know. It's kind of this weird, cocky "Oops, you lost" or something weird like that. I don't like it. I could just turn the emotes off, but I don't pay that much attention to them usually, so I don't turn it off. I'm just like, whatever, I can leave it. But sometimes I do look up and I see something stupid like that that drives me nuts. Like, why would you say oops? Oops is like when you weren't paying attention to the timer and you were roping somebody. That's oops. Not oops, I'm about to win. As if, like, that just feels so stupid. I hate that. Alright, Dark Pascal. Interesting. Pasquale, maybe? I don't know. Okay, pretty typical mono red, which I noticed they went down to like 4, 5 cards. But with mono red, not that big of a deal. Oh, it's not mono red. It looks very mono red. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Alright, do we need 3 here? Well, we could if we had the right color. So not necessarily. So we'll go with the Skyland. If we had a white, let's go with that. That's fine. We'll go Tetsuko, even though it won't matter yet. It kind of sets things up and does provide another blocker. I wish this white mana wasn't going to come in tapped. I really would like to start removing some things from the board, but that's okay. Huh. Alright, well let's do that. And we'll just sit and block. We got blockers on the board. Our opponent only has 2 cards in hand. The 2 cards on the field aren't going to get through. So not a lot going on there. I think Deputy of Detention, it's so wordy, but if I remember right, it actually takes both of those, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Right. So we'll swing with Tetsuko, which is still just 1 damage, but once we find our other pieces so that these can attack, or this one can still attack, but can attack and deal damage equal to their toughness, we'll be in good shape. But we're not there yet. Alright, let's go Banishing Light then. We'll pull some of these stronger cards off the field until we can find, again, our combo piece. Which that is not what we need. So we don't need a 3rd Tetsuko. We'll move that out of the way. Alright, not bad shape. I think now it's just a matter of who pulls what they need first. And I think we just got what we needed. Alright, we're swinging with everything we got. Okay, so now our opponent's really got to make something happen here. Outlaw's Merriment is pretty cool because now they've got a creature and didn't spend any mana this turn for it. Conclave Tribunal will probably take Arcades from us, I would assume. Oh, they took the Banishing Light? Well, that's kind of ridiculous because Tetsuko gives me makes my creatures unblockable, and Arcades makes them... Wow. Yeah, Arcades was the one to take there. So, maybe an inexperienced opponent. I don't know. Okay, but still a different deck. I haven't seen it in a while. So, alright. Out of the few games that we've played so far, and we haven't played a ton, but out of the few we've played so far, I do feel like we can lean on the High Alert deck. It was, we did lose one, and I think we won two, so it's not like it's a great record, and not a huge sample size, but considering we played a lot of other stuff today, both tonight and earlier today, it is the most consistent so far. But I've got some other odd ones, and, well, not necessarily odd, but some are odd, some are just different that I want. Where's my Clerics? Has it been that long since I played it, or I must have just went right by it. There's humans and vampires. There it is. This one's fun if it gets going. Oh, let's see. I keep getting notifications, and I think it's nothing. But I'm always afraid it's going to be something important. I got paid. My phone tells me I got paid. That's pretty cool. Too bad it wasn't for streaming. That would be cool. I can't pronounce that. I'm not going to try. Okay, good hand. I would prefer if I wasn't starting out with a white mana that's coming in tapped, but still a good hand nonetheless. Because I'm going to get a Soul Warden out relatively early, start building up life, and then hopefully start playing off of the Cleric mechanic early as well. Hopefully, depending on what we draw. Okay, so this is an interesting choice. So normally I would want Soul Warden out as early as possible so that everything after it triggers. But I'm going to go with Priest of Forgotten Gods because if for some reason I want to force our opponent to sacrifice a creature next turn, the Summoning Sickness will be gone, and depending on what land and creatures I have in hand, so based on what I draw, I could potentially put the two creatures out next turn that I can sacrifice to Priest of Forgotten Gods. So it's possibly setting up to be able to functionally activate that ability. Possibly. It didn't actually work out that way. I needed either another white land or a creature that costs 1 black to do exactly what I wanted to do. But because that was the potential, I wanted to play it in that order. I could use this now, but I'll wait. At the moment, this creature is not a threat. So we're not going to treat it like a threat yet. Luckily, I can remove it pretty easily if it becomes threatening. Okay, I like Veto. So even though the Territorial Cat here, it's kind of also fits in that category of not really being a threat yet, I think it's going to become a threat really quick. Trample, and something tells me we're going to see a lot of land to trigger that landfall coming. It's probably going to eat the Feed the Swarm next turn. I don't want it sticking around too much longer, I don't think. Yeah, see, it's a 3/2. It's only going to get bigger. If it attacks this turn, we'll probably just let it through. There's no need to block, but we'll go ahead and use up our Feed the Swarm next turn and get rid of that. Don't want that growing too big. Oh, what's going to get targeted? I don't know. My guess is Vito will get the target. So let's go ahead. Let's go here. Now see, Drana, even though I can't play her just yet, will eventually help us get these out of the graveyard. And I've got at least one more cleric that will also help get these out of the graveyard. So I don't mind sacrificing them here, but I'm limiting what is going to be exiled. And we got card draw out of it. We forced our opponent to sacrifice a creature. So we still got decent value there. And there's another priest. Ooh, okay. Oh. So this is where I have to decide, should I be patient or go for it? And I'm going to go for it. So the patient thing would probably be to get rid of the creature knowing that I can't cast my big creature this turn. But I could have cast both Feed the Swarm and the Priest of Forgotten Gods this turn and played a little bit more of a long game. Whereas Drana, I feel like, is less of a long game, but yeah, we're going for it. Ooh, so now I've got to make a choice as to what's going to get Feed the Swarm. I think it needs to be the Spirit Dancer because it has all the glitters attached to it. Okay, but first, let's trigger Drana. Nice. Okay, we'll go here. And here. Okay. So now we're in a pretty good spot. Like we can eat some damage depending on what our opponent has. And oh, I was just about to say I haven't seen much to do with our flying, and then all of a sudden here comes an aura that gives flying. Interesting. And will they hold on to it as a blocker? Yes, they do. Alright, well, the upside is, since we have the Blight Priest out right now, we don't have to attack to win. All we have to do is cast creatures to trigger Soul Warden, which in turn triggers the Blight Priest. Okay, do I have any other creatures? So I have Vito. But Vito's legendary. I was gonna say Drana could trigger on its attack to get Vito, but it can't because it has to be non-legendary. So there's no need to attack. And there might not even be a need to block at this point. Which is really good since I'm not a huge fan of blocking anyway. Nice. Even when our opponent's putting creatures out there losing life. I love it. Yeah, we're probably going to win this without attacking. I should probably say possibly, not probably. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. We'll go with possibly. Alright. Decision time. What's it going to be? You going to swing? I don't think it makes sense to attack. I mean, the cat would trample, flying cat would trample is going to get through. I don't want to block yet. Ooh, now it has vigilance. That is a really strong creature. The upside is there's no lifelink yet. If lifelink shows up on our opponent's side of the board, I'm worried. Well, okay. I'm not as worried as I said I was going to be just because it's only on a 1/1 creature at the moment. So I'm a little worried, not a lot worried. Because again, anytime either one of us casts a creature, our opponent loses a life. So okay, what's going on? Why can't we just resolve this attack phase? Come on. Alright, good deal. Okay, we play a creature. Trigger. Oh, it triggers twice. I wasn't even paying attention to that. And Priest of Forgotten Gods makes our opponent lose 2 life. What do we want to sacrifice? It doesn't even matter. Well, it does matter. Don't want to get rid of the thing that's going to create the trigger. Oh, no, it doesn't matter because it's the 2 life. Oh, I confused myself. So I was right. Once we got that going, I didn't have to attack anymore and won the game. That's fun. And I didn't have to use the infinite combo that everybody uses with that deck. I like doing things differently. Now, don't get me wrong. I think I have the pieces in there for it. I mean, obviously, I have Veto and the Black Priest. I'm pretty sure I have. What's it called? Exquisite Blood. I think it's called Exquisite Blood. Is the enchantment that is the other part of that infinite combo. I think it's in there. I just don't. I think I have 2 copies, and I'm not pushing to get it out. Let's see. Or it might not be in here. I know I have it in other decks. Nope, I didn't even put it in here. It's called Exquisite Blood. But I've already up to 64 cards just trying to push clerics. So I might play that again. This is one of the decks I enjoy building the most too. Because it was one of the few things out of Zendikar Rising that I got excited about. I wasn't really excited about that set. I mean, it was a lot of kicker. I don't get excited about kicker. What else was Zendikar Rising? Well, I did get excited about equipment and the warriors. I built that deck as well. I don't know. It just seemed like there was a lot of things. Well, I wanted to be more excited about landfall, but I really struggled to get a landfall deck that I liked put together. So I would say this is my favorite deck. I don't know. It's a little tough between this and the equipment. This is the most successful between those two for sure. The equipment deck is still far more inconsistent. But it rivals this one as far as favorites, I guess I can say. Out of that set, anyway. Yeah, we'll go here. Alright, we'll get the Black Priest out as soon as we can. And we'll get to dealing damage. Be interesting to see what we ramp into on our opponent's side there. Yeah, I'm not going to block right now. The good thing is we gain so much life in this deck that it is easy for me not to block. And since I'm a fan of not blocking, that's helpful. Okay, I could go ahead and activate the Priest of Forgotten Gods, but I don't want to. I want this combination on the field. So we're going to hold off. Oh, Rhythm of the Wild. Outside of the deck I play it in, I haven't seen too many other people playing it. I haven't seen Triumph of Gerard in a long time. Okay, again, I know I'm going to gain life, so I'm going to not block. Not to mention, let's do the 2 life. We can remove that. Okay. And still cast a creature this turn, which will trigger everything. And I will not attack just because I don't want to potentially lose anything to the Paradise Druid as a blocker yet. Okay. So that means next turn, actually I'll go ahead and pass that on that one. Next turn we'll have the 5 land we need for Drana. Okay, now this is a creature I really, not only do I not mind, I prefer to sacrifice to Priest of Forgotten Gods. So I'd probably go with these 2. But I won't do it here. I'll do it at the end of next turn maybe. Let's see, Grace Power gains flying, first strike, and lifelink. It's not that impressive yet. Although with it having hexproof, it is nice to be able to force a sacrifice. Because we're targeting our opponent, not the creature at that point. I think we're going to go ahead and do it. Let's get that off the board. Again, both of those creatures can come back with Drana. Or something like it. I have other cards like it. So. Okay. Yeah, that 3 damage doesn't bother me too much at all. Okay, so we took 3 damage, no big deal. We'll gain a life. Trigger the Blight Priest. We'll go Drana. Trigger Blight Priest again. And also, next turn we can use Drana to get cards back. And Archfiend's Vessel, when it comes back, will come back as a 5/5 Flying Demon. And I only see 1 card in hand, so I'm not too afraid of what's going on over there. Oh, that is a good card. That could hurt down the road. But again, our opponent has to top deck the right things now. Oh, and this was a good draw here. Oh, yeah, they saw the writing on the wall. So now, actually, this might be the most consistent deck at this level. Again, I don't know if it performs as well at some of the higher levels, but again, it's so funny, you know, what performs well at different times. And a lot of it, like I said, matchups, it's who's playing best of 1, ranked, historic at the time, all kinds of different factors, but sometimes I'll go on a run where a deck just wins 3 or 4 in a row, and the next thing I know, it loses 4 in a row. And it's like, what is happening? You just never know. Lil Mayo. What a weird name. That sounded really judgmental. What a weird name. Sorry, Lil Mayo. It's not that weird. It's not. It definitely ain't no more weird than Rev Band-Aid, so how's that? I'll make up for it. Even though Lil Mayo can't hear me, so why am I making up for it? I don't know. Oh, I think it's getting late. I think it's getting close to bedtime. I'm getting old. I think I'm going to play... I don't know if this might even be the last game. It's close. I guarantee you that. I'm getting close. My eyes are getting heavy. My eyes are getting heavy. Let's get this game going. What are we waiting on? What are you waiting on there, Mayo? Okay, so those are all 3 drops. So we can't cast anything with 2 lands. So we'll make it a tapped land and then go with an untapped land on turn 3. That's the plan. All right. I guess waiting is part of the plan too. There we go. All right, we'll go veto. Wow, we could have a lot of non-combat damage on the board soon. That's the other thing. So I know I've heard some people, I won't say complain, but are kind of judgmental about the Blight Priest. Like it's not as good as veto. Well, no, it's not as good. But you can do things like you can stack them because they're not legendary. You can use them as redundancy, so have veto and the Blight Priest. So there's different reasons for having them. All right, let's go here. Because next turn we might want to trigger that. We might drop 1 or 2 of these. Well, 1, we can't drop 2. Even if we get a land, we can't drop 2. Well, finally. Gosh, it just feels like everything's so slow. All right, here we go. So we lost veto, but again, that's what I was saying earlier. We have the redundancy here. We'll go here, and I think I will go ahead and trigger, or activate rather, Priest of Forgotten Gods. We'll lose. So we have to lose 2, but we're going to go ahead and cast. Let's go here. So we got a card. We cleared the board, and we still had the creature advantage, even though we had to sacrifice 2 creatures. We still had the advantage. So that was kind of worth it in the end. Our opponent does have the land advantage, that's for sure. We need to catch up there. Ooh, that kind of hurt. Oh, wow. Didn't see that coming. So now everything has been removed. So we have to rebuild again. We'll have to see who's faster at rebuilding, I guess. Ooh, Liliana. Okay, well the good thing is we can just remove Liliana. So we'll just take care of that real quick. No more Liliana.
You failed to entertain me.
Alright, now we'll swing with Archfiend's Vessel because we can get it back later. We actually like having it in our graveyard. So now we're right where we want to be. Golly, so many. I mean, look at that. We've already seen 3 murder, 2 cast down, destroy, destroy, destroy. Jeez. I think there's a pattern. Let's see. This is the one. Okay, yes. We want to attack with that on the field. If a cleric dies while this is on the field, we can return one from the graveyard. So that's good. Ooh, that wasn't the best thing to draw there. Yeah, let's go here. I probably should be blocking. The menace is The problem is with Menace, I'd have to block here. Okay. It doesn't matter. Well, yeah, it does. I get lifelink. Will that keep me alive? Let's see. We'll block. We'll get rid of one, block another. I think we're okay. So we'll block another one. Let's see. Yeah, you'll deal me 3 damage, but I got lifelink, so I'm not dead this turn. And aura triggers. So let's go. Archfiend's Vessel gives me a 5/5 flyer. Oh, I drew a land. That wasn't a great draw. See if we get a better draw this time. Ooh, search line for 2 cards, put one on the hand, enter, and the other in the graveyard. Huh. Not bad. 5's a little expensive for that, but not bad. Especially getting to put one in the graveyard. My graveyard deck would like that. Oh my goodness, they're taking their time, aren't they? Okay. Ooh. Meteor Golem went to the graveyard. So what went in the hand? Okay. So we have... Okay, I've got 2 blockers. If I attack, I'll still have 2 blockers, but I got a feeling something in hand is removal, so I'm going to keep all 3 available to block, so I'm not attacking yet. We still haven't turned that corner. Haven't turned that corner. Oh, that was interesting. Wait, how come Archfiend's Vessel didn't trigger? That was odd. Aura should have triggered, I think. Okay, that helped. It's still 34-6, but that helped. Okay, I still don't know why. Maybe because there was nothing. Maybe it was like a... Is it equal? Or it has to be less. It has to be less. Okay, so maybe it just wasn't anything there for it to trigger. Interesting. So now we have a Liliana and a 3/3 Golem on the field. Gosh. These Grim Dancers are rough. Okay, let's get rid of that one. I don't want to attack. So I would get the lifelink from attacking, but I need that creature on the board if I can help it.
Another minion never hurts.
Death Touch does combat damage to a player. That player discards a card and you create a tap 2/2 zombie. That's a really good card. Alright, so this is actually good. They're giving me... Well, the lifelink just kind of nullifies itself here unless I block both, which I'm not going to. And of course they can recast that, but then that helps me too with the 1 life I gained there. So I came out on top of that. That's crazy. Okay, let's get rid of that. I don't need that. So the only reason why we're sticking around now is we have a little bit of life link, and our opponent just doesn't have quite enough to put us away yet. But I don't know what it's going to take for me to draw to turn the corner. I don't think I have anything. I think a board wipe is the only thing I could draw to actually turn the corner.
I am in control.
Oh, so many things to block. Okay. Well, let's go here. Let's see, 4 and 7, and that's 8. But we'll get 3 from that. I think we're still okay. Okay. So this will get rid of that. But take us down to 2 in the process. But almost everything is tapped out. We'll block. Yeah, that's all we've got. We're done. It was fun. Just too much removal. We couldn't come back. I needed, I guess, well, and in my removal, that Feed the Swarm dealt me damage, which is fine sometimes, especially since this deck gives me life. But then our opponent was also able to remove my enchantment removal, so some of my removal got removed. I was like, oh, that was a tough one. All right, it's been real. It's been fun. I need to get off of here. My eyes are burning. I'm so tired. Okay, and it's only 8:20 Central Time. That's awful. All right, thanks so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching. Go listen to my podcast. You can find it. The link's on Instagram.